I have two men coming through together, actually. As soon as I've closed my eyes and connected in with you there in the audience and asked Spirit to step forward really clearly and really quickly, I have got two men coming through together, and they make me feel as though they are very closely connected. They may be father-son or grandfather and grandson, but I do feel as though there's two members of the same family, both male, coming through. They keep on pointing to me, so I'll use a lot of descriptive words tonight. We'll just roll with it. They make me feel like they're here for mum, or they're connected to a woman's side of the family, and that they're showing up together. One of them keeps on showing me a connection to wheels and tyres as well, so that might have had something to do. What's that got to do with? I feel like one of them was just knew how to work on cars or knew how to work on the motorbikes, and there's a strong connection to some kind of tyres or engines with him as well. One of them shows me, I feel like the younger one shows me wearing it looks like a baseball cap. I don't know if it's actually connected to baseball or if it's just that he would have worn a cap quite frequently. And I also feel like the younger one wore kind of like baggy sort of jeans a little bit as well. I've just been given the number 19, and I'm not sure if one of them was 19 or if there's a connection to the number 19 within the family as well. And I just also heard that it's Nana's birthday. So I feel like there's a female in the family who's got a birthday relatively close that might have just happened or is upcoming. Generally, when Spirit talk about birthdays, anniversaries, it's either kind of in the last 3 weeks or in the next 3 weeks. That's about the gap that Spirit use. So one of them makes me feel as though one of their passing was very quick and unexpected. He does kind of give me my symbols for impact there, so there may have been an accident associated with one of their passings. Does this make sense for you down there in the middle? Okay, are you happy if we hand you the microphone? Excellent, because otherwise I can't hear you and it's very challenging. So, we're going to get our tissues already. So who's this? Does this connect to you there in the hat? Could possibly. Do you understand? Sorry? Your brother? And would you understand the other male with him as well?
My wife's dad.
Right, okay, so kind of two in the same family. Right, okay. Would you understand if your brother wants to do things fast? Like, I feel like I want to rev a motorbike or rev an engine and just fucking and take off. Do you understand that? Yeah. Okay. Would you understand if he says reckless? Would you understand if he was maybe a little bit reckless? Yeah? Whose birthday are we celebrating? Because they've just said happy birthday. That's okay. We'll pop it to the side. That might make sense a little bit later. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Was your younger brother, I get this mischievous kind of feeling. Do you understand a connection to that?
He was a true runner. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And what he's just said is, I'm going to tell mum that I'm going to do one thing, but I'm going to go and do the complete opposite. Do you understand a connection to that? Yeah? Okay. Would you understand he talks about looking up to you, right? I feel as though, would you understand, was there a time that you were separated at all? Does that make sense to you? Or a bit of distance between you, the two of you?
There's always been distance.
A little bit of distance.
2 hours apart, yeah.
Right, okay. Would you understand quite a sudden passing with your brother? Yeah? Because he makes me feel, I can hear him apologising a little bit. Would you understand if maybe there were some actions that led up to his passing that he would want to apologise for? Yeah? He comes through talking about remembering him as his boldest self, all right? He doesn't, and so I'm going to use Spirit's words sometimes, not necessarily mine. They influence everything I say. Damn it, now that went away, so I have to wait for that to come back around again. He says, Mum would have whooped my ass. Do you understand what he's talking about there?
Among others,
yeah. Yeah, okay. Among others, did you say? Yeah. So, do you carry a photo of you and him with you? Do you have a little photo of you and him?
Two in the pocket.
I was about to say, are they with you at the moment? Because he shows me these little pictures in the pocket. Yeah? Is he an uncle now? Or going to be an uncle now?
Yes, 2 times an uncle.
2 times an uncle. Because he gave me the biggest goosebumps in connection to that, because I can guarantee you that his eyes are on those boys. Is it 2 boys? Well, there you go. Okay. So yeah, he talks about, eyes on those boys, knowing that he's looking after them, right? He has a bit of a giggle when we talk about that because, we said reckless and those kind of things, but know that his soul is watching over your boys from spirit, and he's doing everything he can with what he has available to him to be watching out for them, okay? Is one of them 6, or is there a 6 in connected to one of their birthdays or the month or something? He just gave me the number 6. One's 9. Okay, right. He's talking about magazines, and I don't know what you would understand him to be talking about magazines for. I don't know if you've got his old magazines or a connection to some magazines. Do you understand that?
So my dad used to have lots of car magazines.
Right, okay. Yep. Yeah, so with them both being here, excuse me, I feel like I've got a mouthful of cotton wool sometimes. With them both being here, what doesn't relate to your brother would be relatable to the other male figure as well. The other male figure just said that he sends birds as a symbol that he's around the place as well. Right? So know that I feel like there's a particular bird. He makes me feel like it's white. I might be wrong, but I know that he will show up in the form. Well, he doesn't turn into a bird and fly on in and rock up, but they influence the energy of these things to come into your awareness. Okay? That was my mother-in-law from England calling. That should be on Do Not Disturb. Okay, so would you understand your father-in-law to be... did you say your father-in-law? Your father-in-law. He makes me feel like he was a bit more of a serious kind of person. Does that make sense to you? So I've got like chalk and cheese happening. Do you understand that? Because as soon as I bring my awareness over to the father-in-law, the older sort of figure, I just get this feeling like I want to be really responsible. Like I want to be on my best sort of behaviour around him. Do you understand that? Yeah, okay. And he's doing this little finger thing, right? I don't know if he quite kind of told people off or he had some opinions and that sort of thing. Do you understand that in connection to him? Being a little bit more of a serious fella, right? Okay. Has your 9-year-old just won some form of school award or won an award? The other one did. Right, because it shows me being really proud of this award that one of those kids has just received, right? So again, just validation that they are looking over the kids. All right. Would you understand a connection to a little girl as well? No? Right, okay. That may make sense to you in that form. So he links that little girl with him. So know that that father-in-law figure is looking after the soul of the little girl, right? Okay. Do you understand fishing in connection to either of them? Yeah, that makes sense? Okay. Because whoever is the fishing in connection to the older gentleman, or the could be either of them, because there's this competition about catching the biggest fish kind of thing happening. So there's this friendly competition, right? I'm just going to... The father-in-law figure, the older gentleman, just kind of said to me, I just stopped in to make sure that everything's okay, right? He's just kind of keeping an eye over things, and I don't know if he used to walk with his hands behind his back. Did he used to do that? Because he makes me want to walk around with my hands behind my back. And like I'm just watching and observing everything, So I know he's come through because he's curious and he wants to know what's happening, what's going on, that sort of thing, right? A bit snoopy, if you will, right? Does that make sense? And the brother comes through just wishing more than anything that he could wrap his arms around you, right? He just wants to do this tightest bear hug, right? And he talks about, I don't know if when you were younger you got to did you guys like try to knock each other out or try to make each other's kind of go unconscious, wrestling, that kind of thing as a kid? Because it's like I want to squeeze you a little bit too much.
Yeah, there was some tough love there.
Tough love there, right, okay. I know that he always looked up to you, right? I know that some of the times that he found the most challenging was when he felt like he let you down, right? And I know that he's just getting a bit emotional, so I'm just going to take a breath there for a second. I know he didn't like having those hard, challenging conversations. Does that make sense to you? So we're kind of getting into the emotional thing and there's a little bit of a retraction sort of thing happening. Know that he looked up to you more than anybody in his life. And even if you didn't know that, that is true for him, right? Know that it's really important that you can call in for your boys to be safe, and these two gentlemen in spirit will help them and do everything they can to keep your boys safe as well. And the last bit I have before I have to lovingly disconnect from them and send them home with you is he's just talking. I don't know if you in the what was your name? Sorry. Shannon, right. If you're being a little bit too hard on yourself at the minute, because he makes me feel like you are crushing yourself. And he's like, breathe, right? Take a minute. Nothing has to happen right now, right? And nothing will happen if you take a little bit of a step back, and that it will be okay. So he makes me feel like he's watching you be really self-critical or really judgment and feeling this pressure at the minute, right? Are you building a new house or wanting to be building a new house? Do you understand a connection there? Yeah? Right. I do see it happening. I don't know if you want a shed or need a shed or something like that. Always need a shed, because he says there'll be a shed. So what have you got to pass on? What's the last little bit? He just said, take good care of my things, and I didn't hear the little last bit that he was talking about. So you've got some of his stuff and he's like watching you.
Recently got his dirt bike after 6 years.
Right, that's right. Okay, fucking eyes on, mate, is is the way that he talks about that, right? But please write it. You know, I don't know if he says you've got to fix it up. Do you have to fix it?
Yeah, I've done a little bit since I got it, but it does need just a little bit more to be where he had it. Yeah.
Right, okay. Go hard on it, right?
He's not paying for it.
Yeah, that's that whole thing. Right, so know that you've got his permission, right, to get on that bike and take it for a spin, yeah? I'm going to lovingly disconnect from them and send them back with you, okay? So what we do after we wrap up with one person is we like to send them a little bit of love and give them a round of applause. So thank you for connecting. Okay, so that's how we do it, right? Spirit gives me all these pictures, symbols, they make me feel different things. I give them permission to use my body as a tool for communication, and they'll take all of that as much as they can and turn it into hopefully something like that throughout the rest of the evening. So thank you for being vulnerable and putting your hand up. I wonder if that's why I was showing me the baseball cap, because you're sitting there with like...
I was looking for his hat before I came.
Right. Okay. Beautiful. So... he keeps still talking to me, and I'm like, I need you to stop now. Stop it, please. He's talking to me about graffiti or some artwork or graffiti art or something like.
Very, very handy with a pen and pencil.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Please stop it. Right. Okay. So I'm just going to lovingly disconnect from him and send him back with you, and we'll get the next one to come through. Oh, bless. Okay. Both of them. Sorry. Disconnect from both of them. That older fella just went like this to say, all right, done. Thank you. So